From beautiful Colorado Springs, Colorado, we're at Widener Field tonight in the USL Championship. It's a huge matchup presented by Sunbelt. Colorado Springs Switchbacks take on the defending Eastern Conference champions, Louisville City FC. Sean St. Jacques and the Manchester United legend, Gary Bailey, here with you. We jump into the Eastern Conference live standings to begin proceedings here. This evening, Lou City came into the night in 4th. They're currently in 5th. Indy winning at the moment against Miami. We'll see if Lou City can get back into those top 4 places as they fight for home playoff games in their latest attempt to get back to a USL Championship final. It's been an up and down season for Danny Cruz's boys. It's been an up and down season for the Switchbacks as well under new coach Stephen Hogan. They're in 7th in the live table, and only the top 8 move on to the playoffs. They're hoping to solidify their place in that top 8 with a huge home win tonight. East and the West, 2 very tight tables, Gary, and the season numbers for both teams show that there's not a lot to separate these two.
Yeah, 2 very good defenses as well. Look at Lou City, the biggest number of clean sheets in the USL with 11, so a very good defense, hard to break down. On the other side, Colorado Springs, 9 games in which they've only lost by 1 goal, so they're in virtually every one of these games.
Let's take a look at tonight's players to watch, presented by Keg One Modella. We begin with Jay Chapman, who scored a beauty in the loss against Monterey Bay last time out, and at this point, the Switchbacks are already down to 9 men.
It was a crazy, crazy game. 3 red cards, but what a strike in the top corner. Keeper, no chance whatsoever.
On the other side of the coin for Lou City, gorgeous save from Oliver Zemla in their win against Oakland.
Oh, Palais thought that was in the top corner. Have a look at it. It's a fantastic strike and an absolutely brilliant save.
And these 2 players will play a big part in what happens tonight at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. Every game, every point, every moment means so much in the stretch run to the playoffs in the USL Championship. We've got a good one in Colorado tonight. The Switchbacks and Lou City. The kickoff is next.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over, and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15, and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you were off this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Tonight's player walkout is sponsored by Children's Hospital Colorado. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you moments away from the kickoff in the second all-time meeting between Colorado Springs and Louisville City. Let's jump into the starting lineups brought to you by Phil Long. Stephen Hogan's 11 for the Switchbacks looks like this.
Well, he's had to make a number of changes. 3 players got red in the last match. James Musa, Malik Foster, and Jonas Fjellberg. And Matt Mahoney's been given time off for personal reasons. So 4 changes. In comes Duke Lacroix, Deshane Beckford, Romario Williams, and Jairo Enriquez in that 3-5-2 shape.
At times this season, Danny Cruz has talk to us about road mentality for Lou City. They're hoping to bring that to Widener Field with them once again. As we take a look at what they're bringing with them to Colorado Springs tonight. One change for Lou City.
Yeah, just the one change. It is Wes Sharpie, excused absence, and Kyle Adams comes in, a recent signing, so he just fits in neatly in that back four with probably a three across the middle and three up front. Winder will join them, of course, and Carlos Miguel and Paulo Del Piccolo will probably do more of the defensive work.
Just the second time, if you can believe that these two teams have met, and a couple of former teammates exchanging pleasantries. Speedy Williams captaining the Switchbacks tonight, along with his former teammate Paulo Del Piccolo. Of course, Speedy Williams won 2 USL Championship titles as a Lou City player. He's trying to halt their playoff hopes, and at least playoff home field hopes here tonight with the Switchbacks in pursuit of a playoff spot. And Gary, it's that time of year. Every game so crucial. The Switchbacks are up against it a little bit. They're starting to creep a little bit towards that playoff line. They need a win, and Lou City want to get home field advantage in the playoffs, and they need wins to do it.
Yeah, 100%. It's a tough one for Colorado Springs. If they don't get a win here, given some of the matches they've got coming up next, and they're playing the top 3 in the West in their next 3 games, they could be in all sorts of trouble to qualify. And of course, got to mention that those 3 players sent off from the last match, Malik Foster, Jonas Fjellberg, and James Musa, are 3 big holes in that Colorado Springs lineup.
Tied for the most red cards ever given to a team in a USL Championship game, and also just total in a USL Championship game. And Stephen Hogan's group, he's going to have to battle back from that. And of course, they had a lead in that game. You can believe that, down to 9 players. They finished with 8. They also finished with no points to show for it after a big 2-1 win at the time for Frank Yallop's Monterey Bay boys in the end in Seaside. But we shift the scene here to Widener Fields in Colorado Springs. Gerald Flores is our center official this evening. The Switchbacks will be in their black uniforms with the blue trim, and Lou City will be in their white road kits with the purple trim. Good crowd here at Widener Field, as it always tends to be on big nights like this. And we'll see if Lou City can continue their strong road form coming off a huge home win. And we'll see if the Switchbacks can solidify their place in the top 8 for a playoff spot this evening. 2 teams, one from the West, one from the East. Both need it very, very badly. And we will see who comes out on top tonight. And it is Lou City who control in the early moments through Zemla. And they start the play from the back, going from right to left here on ESPN+. Sent forward by Kyle Adams. It's an early opportunity to play in Jorge Gonzalez, who gets the start tonight on this near side for Danny Cruz's boys. It's out of play for a Drew Skundrich throw.
But you've got to look at home form and away form in matches like this. And at home, Colorado Springs have been strong. Only 1 loss in the last 6. And conversely, Lou City on the road, only 1 win in the last 6. So I think for the boys in purple, they'd probably be happy with the point. For Colorado Springs, as you said, they need the 3 points. They are dangerously close to going out of a playoff position.
Was cleared away by Kyle Adams, picked up by last game's hero for Lou City, Oscar Jimenez, who scored the 98th minute winner against the Oakland Roots for a 2-1 Lou City win. Skundrich is going to head that out of play for a throw. First goal that Oscar Jimenez had scored since October 9th, 2021. What a time to get back on the score sheet for Louisville.
By the way, being in the 98th minute, it was the latest goal scored in the USL this year. So they certainly sort of changed a few records there, but what a strike it was, and came at a perfect time for Lou City. Last kick of the match, and got them those points at home, because whilst they're pretty safe in the playoffs, they still want to have a home first game, which means top 4. And right now, in the live tables, they're on the verge of being pushed out by Indy. So they have to keep picking up points wherever they can if they're going to secure a home game in those playoffs.
There was a couple of, well, runs of stats that were kind of broken in that Lou City Oakland game. Before that game, Lou City had been 0 for 5 in games where they trailed at the half. They came back in that Oakland game after being down by a goal at the half. They won by 2-1. And Oakland, going into that game, they were unbeaten in 10 games this season with 8 wins when they had led at the half. Lou City broke that streak with a 2-1 win. And again, to be fair to Oakland, they held on till the 98th minute until Oscar Jimenez broke their hearts.
Yeah, Brian Omi getting the first goal coming off the bench, which I'm guessing is how they're going to use him again today. You've got Cam Lancaster on the bench as well, so some big firepower. Not quite the same for Colorado Springs because they have so many players out, so a couple of youngsters on the bench for the home side.
That's going to be an early challenge, and a yellow card from Gerald Flores here comes out. Carlos Mogul Jr. not happy. We take a look at the replay.
Well, he's got him by the shirt and he's holding on and he's holding on, and right in front of the referee early in the match in the other half of the pitch. Why do that? Why put yourself now in jeopardy of a second yellow sending you off? It's, you know, if it's the edge of your box, I get it, but it was in the opponent's half that he got the first pull and the first tug, so I hope he doesn't regret that later in the game.
It's a diverse is health, yellow card, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Like you said, Gary, we haven't even played 4 minutes. And Carlos Mogul Jr. has got a yellow card hanging over his head. So that'll be something to keep an eye on as this match progresses. We saw that absolutely jaw-dropping save from Oliver Zemla in the Oakland game as he clears the lines for Lou City. 11 clean sheets this season. That is the rookie record for goalkeepers in the USL Championship's history, and he's actually 4 away from tying the single season clean sheets record of 15 in the USL Championship's history. So what a campaign, a debut campaign for the Lou City goalkeeper.
Yeah, he just needs to keep a clean sheet soon, though. It's been 5 games ago was his last clean sheet against Tulsa, and he'll be desperate to try and take that from 11 to 12. I think the record sisters at 15.
Yeah.
So he could still do it. Got enough games left to break that record.
I must say it's a tough run-in for both of these teams moving forward, but not impossible as far as that clean sheet record is concerned. But that's why this game is so important tonight. Again, all of them are. There's no question about that. But both of us kind of took a peek at the upcoming schedules for both teams, and they're both absolutely brutal.
Colorado,
this one's very important for both teams.
I mean, Colorado are playing the champions on the Eastern Conference from last year right now. Then they've got San Antonio, Orange County, and Sac Republic, which are the top 3 in the West. So that's why, again, and we said it earlier, that they need a win here to the home side. Oh, another foul.
This time, Jorge Gonzalez wins a free kick off of Drew Skundrich. This puts Lou City in a good spot for a free kick.
It does. A very similar position from which Jay Chapman scored against Monterey Bay in the last match. It's one of those, just enough of an angle to get it over the wall and down under the crossbar. Looks like there's 5 white shirts all trying to get in on the act.
Sometimes a good problem to have when everyone wants to take it, but someone has to stand above the rest. 2 players have walked away from it as Joe Kuzminski gets the start again for the Switchbacks in goal tonight. Make sure that the 4 men are in the right position defensively for Colorado Springs. Looks like it was Gonzalez, Mogul, and Harris who were nearby. Now it's just Gonzalez and Harris. Gonzalez looks poised, and he does strike it. It's right down the throat of the goal and easy enough for Kuzminski.
They also had a player right in the line of sight of the goalkeeper, Lou City, so obviously they'd planned for that. It just needs to go a little bit wider of Coy, and was in the perfect position to catch the ball.
This is where both coaches talked about could be a positive for the Switchbacks in transition, and they nearly played their way through Lou City there. In the end, the pass through to Romario Williams didn't quite make it there. Chance to reset for the visitors. We talked to assistant coach James Chambers for the Switchbacks as Shane Beckford tries to keep this ball in play, and in the end he finds Zemla asked him about the wild and crazy game in Seaside. Again, 3 players sent off for the Switchbacks in a 2-1 defeat. And he said that we just have to move on from it. We obviously didn't agree with a couple of the decisions to send players off for us, but have to move on. There's nothing we can really do about it now, and it's about what's to come and how we can bounce back from it. You can see the players who are suspended tonight on the screen. Feldberg, Foster, and Musa all sent off in the second half of that game.
Just to add to what he said when we chatted to him, he did say, look, we shot ourselves in the foot. We gave away a penalty. In fact, they gave away 2 penalties, but certainly the first one allowed Monterey Bay back in the match. That was a trip, and then that was by Steven Echeverria, and then there was a pull down by Oscar Agren. So they gave away both penalties with literally minutes left on the clock, but it would have been one hell of a result to win 1-0. At that point, having only had 2 send-off, James Musa with a horrible lunge at the end for the 3rd red card, and that was when they were already 2-1 down. But as you say, one hell of a match, crazy moments, and some tough decisions for the red cards. I would agree with that, but I think James Chapman taking the right approach. We just move on, we put it aside, no point complaining too much, and let's get on with the next game, which obviously is this one.
That ball's going to trickle out in play in front of Jairo Enriquez after Captain Paolo Del Piccolo got a boot onto it. It'll stay with the Switchbacks on the near side. Skundrich right towards the penalty area. Romario Williams keeps it in play. Beckford just trying to poke it through. It's out for another throw. Speedy Williams chipping it into the penalty area. It's Jairo Enriquez! Good save by Zemla. And it's parried out for a corner after a ball over the top opens up the visitors here.
Good effort from Jairo Enriquez. Just struggled to sort of get it wide of the keeper, but it was from a very tight angle. As always, Oliver Zemla's so solid in goals, but beautiful ball over the top. Sits up neatly, takes a touch first, and then cracks it with so much power. But at the goalkeeper, and from that angle, it would have been very difficult to get it into the far corner.
From the corner, it's flicked on centrally. Speedy Williams recycles it off the Tiro Price corner. With a little skill here, Tariq McGee dazzling his way into the penalty area. He lays it off for Williams, who passes it and nearly passes it into the net. Zemla just about had it covered, but the Switchbacks continue to put on the early pressure.
It looked more like a pass coming from Speedy Williams than it did a shot, but I think Zemla might have had his sort of view blocked there because he was late to move, but he gets down to it eventually. But have a look, not a lot of power put in it. It's a pass into the corner, but the keeper gets his body across the goal.
From the corner, another Tiro Price corner, it's headed out. The Switchbacks will reset. 2 big chances, and Oliver Zemla has been up to the task on both occasions for Lou City. McGee. Lovely incisive ball through the middle. It's played to this near side for Jairo Enriquez. And then Skundrich, first time ball into the penalty area, soars out of play for a goal kick.
It's a pity for Colorado Springs. They had 2 bodies in the box there, one of them being Romario Williams. I think the other was Jay Chapman. And a decent ball in there, and they would have had a chance of getting a header on goal. And that was way, way over the top of everybody's head.
The official match ball supplier of the USL Championship is Select, and many other elite leagues throughout Europe as well. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Flores with the whistle there. It's a free kick for Louisville, and a little bit of afters there as the ball was poked away.
Oh, there were just 2 good chances a moment or so ago for Colorado Springs. And when we chatted to Danny Cruz, he did say the firepower of the home side is what worries him most. He says, yep, they are tough to break down, but he said in transition and up front, they have so many good players who can hurt you. He said this is a tough place to go, and it's going to be a difficult test. And I tend to agree with him. It is going to be a real test tonight for the boys in purple.
Second all-time meeting, first meeting since July of 2021. Game was also played here at Widener Field, and I believe you were on the call for that game, Gary. Memory serves.
I think you're right.
There's Shane Beckford on the attack for the Switchbacks, and he tries to shoot from a difficult angle. In the end, he skies his effort.
He's got such good taste, pace rather, taste as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Shane Beckford with his pace and coming into this match, I love watching him play. Hasn't always been a regular for Colorado Springs, but when he takes you on one-on-one, he can be so extremely quick down that right-hand side if that's where he's playing tonight, and he can switch from right to left as well. Very dangerous player.
Just to finish the thought on the prior meeting between these two, that game kind of serves as a bit of a time capsule for these two teams based on the goal scorers. Michi Galina scored for the Switchbacks, and Antoine Opino scored for Lou City in a 1-1 draw. And that's the only other time these two have met. And of course, those two players are no longer with these two teams.
Geez, Opino's moved to Detroit since then and now on to Hartford. So yeah, a lot of time has elapsed.
Switchbacks trying to keep on this early pressure. Beckford on the near side. Splits the legs of Oscar Jimenez, but then Jimenez wins a free kick. Much to Beckford's chagrin, and it's going to go the other way.
It's got to be careful there, Beckford. You kick a ball away, it almost always gets you a yellow card, and perhaps Gerald Flores just being a little bit lenient on him. But as soon as the whistle goes, you've got to leave the ball alone. See what happens here? The whistle, well, to be fair, it was as the whistle blew, so that's probably why he avoided the yellow.
Was flicked on by Gonzalez. Harris trying to work his way into the penalty area. Agren is there defensively for Colorado Springs. There is one game that has gone final already tonight. Indy holding on against Miami. That's a final. They win 1-0 at home. It's a big result for Mark Lowry's group and a tough one for Miami, who also have a very difficult schedule upcoming as we look at that bottom of the Eastern Conference race for that final 8 spot.
What it does as well, it pushes Lou City down into 5th and out of a home playoff position. That's pretty rare for this side, who over the years have been consistently either top or thereabouts in the East. Incredible amount of success they've had.
Ooh, good ball in from Gonzalez. First time hit from Del Piccolo is blocked.
Talking of that success, Del Piccolo was always part of that, and the likes of Ownby and Cam Lancaster on the bench as well, Sean Tosh.
This is Romario Williams for the Switchbacks. Beckford, McGee. McGee thinks better of it, has Skundrich in support. Williams. McGee for Enriquez, and then McGee is dispossessed. Although Speedy Williams wins it back for the Switchbacks. It's a first-time ball over for McGee, who gets his volley all wrong on the way through. Couldn't catch it, and Lou City lived to tell the tale.
That's a great chance for Tyreek McGee, and he's such a good player. You expect better. I don't necessarily expect him to score, but I expect him to make a decent contact. And if you go back to the Oakland Roots match, they won 3-2 away a couple of games ago. He scored twice with some lovely goals. So with his ability, so surprised he didn't make a better contact there.
Lou City's turn to attack. Wilson Harris into the penalty area. His shot is saved by Kuzminski. Recycled by Del Piccolo, but Skundrich is on the case and clears for the Switchbacks. And Colorado Springs will get a throw on the near side after a Lou City chance.
Decent save from Kuzminski. Again, it's very close to his body, so got good power behind it, but the angle's a little bit tight. Keeper gets down well and pounds it out, but getting good action on both ends of the pitch. And that's good news for Lou City, because their goal scoring has been a problem for them this season. They're the lowest in the top 7 with just 28 goals coming into this match, compared to the likes of Tampa Bay with 43 and Memphis with 40. They've just got 28, which is a real surprise for a team that normally scores goals for fun.
Also kind of highlights how important the defensive side of the game has been for Lou City, considering where they are in the table. Zemla and the front four in front of him and the midfield group has kept Lou City in a lot of these games, including that Oakland game last time out. One back by Lou City. Del Piccolo. Winder through the middle, but it's too far out in front for Harris and easy enough for Joe Kuzminski.
Good chance there for Elijah Winder just to have put that right on Harris's foot, and he would have been free in the box with a shot.
Now the switchbacks come the other way. McGee for Beckford. Beckford across the middle, and it's missed by Enriquez. His first time ball in the end swerves wide of the goal. And out for a goal kick as it continues to be end-to-end stuff here.
Exciting football from both sides, but again, Deshane Beckford, once he was away, there was absolutely no catching him. He could have possibly gone a little bit further before laying that ball off. Have a look, the ball comes through here, he's gone. You're not going to catch him, he's head up and he's looking and plays it nice and early for Jairo Enriquez, but probably could stolen another 5 or 10 yards before passing.
Sometimes in these big, dare I say, heavyweight matchups, the teams try to feel each other out and just kind of get a gauge of the other's intent in the opening minutes. It's been the opposite of that. Both teams are going for each other, and Zemla has to come off of his line to stop another switchbacks attack on the near side.
I think it's a feature of Colorado Springs at home. They're an attack-minded side, and Stephen Hogan wants him to push forward and create chances, and that's why at home they've picked up so many good results. They come at you from every angle. Yeah, they do concede a few here and there, but they're guaranteed to score as well. It must be a great team to go and watch on a regular basis there at Widener Field.
This ball's floated over the top for Romario Williams to chase. Williams curls the ball into the penalty area looking for Jay Chapman. Instead, he finds Oliver Zemla. Team leading 8 goals this season for Romario Williams, the Jamaican, 3 assists as well.
And they've had some big wins here as well at home. They beat Monterey Bay 4-0. They beat Orange County 4-0. Once they get going at Widener Field, it can be a problem stopping them.
Perez. Shantosh for company. Serrano in for Winder. Winder skips past a challenge from Chapman. Winder curls one into the penalty area. Skundrich had to be careful. He heads it out for a Lou City corner.
That's a good cross there from young Elijah Winder, just 20 years of age. He puts that ball in the danger area, and it forces Skundrich to be very careful. Doesn't want to score an own goal, but he's heading towards his goals. He's got to get it high and over. And that's a quality ball, whipped in, it's bending, it's right in that danger area, and really forces the defenders to have to react quickly.
It's a McDivitt Law Firm corner. We're in your corner. We'll see how Oscar Jimenez does with this. Does have 2 assists this season, along with his stoppage time winner last time out. And he's going to play this short, and it's hit nicely by Mogul. But it ricochets out of play. Looks like it's going to be another corner on the near side.
That might have been Skundrich again with the header, but nicely played move from the set piece. They knew exactly what they were doing. This is pre-rehearsed. And good shot there. And there's the header clear from Skundrich. Takes a bit of bravery to stick your head in front of a shot like that.
Pikes Peak National Bank corner. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. Mogul will try this one from the near side for Louisville. And it's whipped in dangerously, and it's headed into the back of the net. How about that from Jorge Gonzalez? He scores the opening goal for Louisville. And inside of 22 minutes, Lou City lead at Widener Field by a 0-0.
Oh, that's a fantastic corner put in. It's the right height, it's got the right pace, and Jorge Gonzalez loses his marker, gets in there, and just deflects it past Joe Kuzminski, who's got no chance to react. Have a look at the quality of the ball, whipped in. He beats his marker, he's got 2 of them. One of them being Duke Lacroix. and he beats him, gets to the ball. The other one, probably Jay Chapman. Well done, Jorge Gonzalez. Gets there, gets the angle perfect. And once he does that, there's no way Joe Kuzminski can react in time to stop that from hitting the back of the net.
His second goal of the season. And we were talking about it. A goal has been coming in this match, just about who was going to score it. And from a set piece, Lou City land the first blow of the match.
And if you just take that back a few steps, it was Elijah Winder's really good cross that forced the initial corner. And then the pressure was on. They won another corner. So it just shows you one good move and you can build on that.
The Switchbacks trying to put together a good move themselves. And McGee flashes it wide of the post with Zemla lurking. And you can see by his reaction that he wasn't a million miles away.
Yeah, he's headed well. He's got some pace behind it. You mentioned these 2 goals against Oakland Roots. He probably thought he had another one there. Just bends away from goal at the last moment. If it had bent the other way, it might have hit the back of the net.
Switchbacks looking for an immediate response. A bit of a nibble there from Mogul, who's got to be careful. On a yellow. Free kick for Colorado Springs.
See, this is where that first yellow causes him problems, because now the referee's thinking, okay, that's not a second yellow, but if he keeps on, you know, giving away free kicks, eventually it'll be consistent infringement, and then there will be a second yellow. So now Carlos Mogul, whose job is to defend the midfield, is now struggling to make a tackle.
Free kick scoring opportunities brought to you by Underline, delivering gigabit fiber internet. Underline.com/COS. Enriquez will take it. It's whipped in beautifully. Just needed a head from Skundrich, but in the end he couldn't redirect it on target.
Enriquez, such a good player, such a clever player, the El Salvadorian international. And that's why they're so good in attack. Romario Williams, Jairo Enriquez, Juan Tejada, Deshane Beckford. So a lot of attacking talent up front for Colorado Springs.
Yeah, 15 goals between Williams, Tejada, and Enriquez this season. Blue City's, I should say, Switchbacks top 3 goal scorers. And here is Tejada. Chapman on the overlap. It's still Tejada. It's blocked away by Del Piccolo. Lacroix back into Tejada. Chapman stayed on side. McGee gets past 2 challenges, and then Adams, he's able to clear the lines for Lou City, but not definitively. Skundrich. In the end, the goal scorer Gonzalez gets Lou City back on their way. Can they counterattack here? Harris. He's asking for some help in the end, and Lou City has to slow things down for the moment.
Done a good job there, Wilson Harris, just holding the ball up, bringing the others into play. Playing more like a midfielder here. He's come back and allowed the entire Lou City team to get into the opponent's half, and then he goes and moves up front to receive the ball. So fantastic, we call it number 9 play. Your sort of main striker just holding things up until the others can join him.
He's doing that again here. Harris looks for the angle, cross is deflected. Cleared out of the penalty area for Beckford to control. McGee, lovely skill. Beckford. For Enriquez, who tiptoes the touchline, but Gonzalez impedes his progress, but he'll stay with the Switchbacks via a throw for Skundrich. Jorge Gonzalez's second goal of the season, off an assist from Carlos Mogul, as Lou City in front on the road.
That was one of Daniel Cruz's keys to the game. When we spoke to him, he says we need to have a good start. That needs to be the very most important thing, the mentality from warm-ups to the first whistle. Well, they've got the start so far.
Ball in from Lacroix is touched on by Romario Williams, saved by Zemla, and headed back to him by Tosh. Point-blank reactions from the Lou City goalkeeper.
It's a good ball in, isn't it? It's a dangerous ball in, especially when you've got Romario Williams running at the near post. As a keeper, you don't know if he gets a touch, so you have to react to both the touch he might get and the direction the ball's going anyway. And that's what he does with that left arm down. Another very good save from Oliver Zemler. What a season he's having.
Might have to create a catalog of his best moments of saves this season. He'll have quite the list. Lou City on the other end with Perez. First time ball in by Serrano is caught by Kuzminski.
The idea was good from Serrano, get it in nice and early, but unfortunately straight into the keeper's hands. Needed to keep it a little bit lower and a little bit further away from Joe Kuzminski. And he's a player I'll be watching closely again, Ray Serrano. 17 matches, not a single goal. And he's an attacking player, so you've got to produce something for your team. Either a whole bunch of assists or goals. And he's only 21, but it's time for him now to show what a good player he is. And the only way you do that is by hitting the back of the net.
Does have 2 assists, Ray Serrano, this season, but no goals, to your point.
In 17 games?
Yeah.
As an attacking player, I think you need more than that.
Wilson Harris not happy with something that Gerald Flores did there, but it is going to be with the switchbacks on a set piece, and gives me another opportunity, Gary, to tell you that there's 2 more finals from the USL Championship schedule tonight. Detroit City 1, Memphis 1. Memphis getting back into that game. They get a point in Hamtramck. And the Rowdies scored a late winning goal against Hartford. They win 2-1 at home at Al Lang. Hartford had a lead in that game, but I think even you and I, Gary, when we saw that, thought, is that going to last? The answer is no, it did not last.
Well, it was the 91st minute that Martinez scored for Tampa Bay. Another heartbreak for Hartford, which has pretty much been the story of their season.
Well, in behind here, and Beckford for a brief moment maybe had a chance there to keep the ball in play. Jimenez did enough. It's a goal kick.
And the problem with that Memphis point is that just takes them a few points behind Lou City. And if Lou City weren't to win this, if Colorado Springs came back, then it'd be a battle amongst those teams of Indy, Memphis, and Lou City for that 4th and final place for a home playoff. So much riding on this game for both Lou City in terms of top 4, and of course Colorado Springs in terms of just simply making the playoffs in the West.
Half an hour into our match here at Widener Field. Lots of big moments already. Jorge Gonzalez has delivered the biggest of them so far for Lou City. Here's Jimenez from Harris. Centering pass for Perez to run onto. He has space here to work with. Manny Perez. Serrano out wide, curls it into the penalty area. It's cleared away by Agren. Hit by Jimenez! From quite some distance, and Kuzminski, I think, knew where it was going, but it was another vicious effort.
I think he's still excited by the winner in Oakland in the dying moments of the game, because that's a long way out and it's a first-time hit. And if that ends up in the back of the net, then it is goal of the season. So optimistic strike, but hey, why not? When you've just scored with a great strike in the dying seconds against Oakland to get all 3 points, then I'm sure his teammates won't mind him having another long shot from distance.
Of course, we have our game going on at the moment. 2 other games are live right now. No score between New Mexico and Charleston. El Paso and Monterey Bay just got underway. That's a big 6-pointer in the West. It's 0-0 early on. And then there's still 3 more big games to come after that. Oakland and Sac Republic, Vegas and Orange County. And maybe the biggest game in that late window, Phoenix and RGV. After the Toros beat Phoenix in Texas earlier in this regular season. Lou City in search of a second here. Gonzalez, was that handled? Gonzalez shoots in the end, but then the whistle does go. And it's the switchbacks that come out with possession.
It's not an easy ball to bring down. It's a great pass, by the way, but you've got defenders all around you.
Lou City win it back. Gonzalez stood up in the end by Speedy Williams as he tried to take aim. Lou City looked for a free kick. It hasn't come. It's a goal kick.
There's 2 things that went against him. The first one was his own handball from the chest, which, as I was saying, is not easy when you've got a defender right on you to chest it down to your foot so that the defender can't get to it, and then he loses out on that shot on the edge of the box.
A really vibrant affair so far here at Widener Field. Can the Switchbacks get back on level terms? Chapman for Enriquez. Dances his way past a challenge by Del Piccolo. Beckford able to slide it through for McGee. McGee resets the play to Enriquez. Now Skundrich. Williams from McGee, and then it breaks down. An errant pass gives it back to Sean Tosh. Could have some options here for Louisville. Winder was making a run through the middle. Gonzalez joins in support. Winder makes a run into the penalty area. Gonzalez finds him. Then thinks better of passing it back to him with Jimenez in support. Winder try to get it back to Jimenez. Tejada on the scene for the Switchbacks. Kept alive by Mogul. Centering pass for Tosh. Perez. Serrano chops it back for Perez to run onto. It's a first-time curler into the penalty area. Gonzalez, first-time ball centrally. It could fall for Mogul. Palmed away by Kuzminski. Headed back to him by Skundrich after another well-hit strike from outside the penalty area.
And the danger of that strike, and it really was a good strike as well, is come through a lot of bodies and hard for Kuzminski to see it. Goes far post, Wilson Harris goes to ground there. Mogul hits it, but very difficult for the keeper to see that through so many players in front of him. And a nice little header back from Drew Skundrich to help his keeper out. I don't think anyone can complain about the lack of goalmouth opportunities. There's been a ton of them in this game.
Was that handled by Harris? Serrano tries to keep it alive. Kuzminski clears it under the pressure from Wilson Harris. And Jimenez wins a free kick. Lou City did get on the end of his header, but the referee didn't think there was enough advantage. Good sportsmanship between Tejada and Jimenez. And Lou City will settle for a free kick.
They've done well, Lou City, last 10 minutes or so. Since going 1-0 up, they've contained the pressure from Colorado Springs. They've begun to dominate possession a little bit, create their own chances around the edge of the box. It's been a very, very good away performance. And as I give them praise, they just kicked the ball out of touch. But overall, I'm sure Danny Cruz will be very happy with what he's seen so far.
Lou City ramping up the pressure again here. Skundrich just about finds a window to clear it. Switchbacks again will settle for a throw on the near sign. We talked about the schedules upcoming for both teams. 5 of the next 6 for Lou City, including tonight on the road. But at times, that's where Lou City have been at their best this season. There was at one point where Danny Cruz told us that the mentality for Lou City was just better on the road than it was at Lynn Family at times this season.
Well, it's going to have to be. They've got Tampa Bay away next. That's a tough one. San Diego home, Miami away, and they're desperate for points. Loudoun away, and New Mexico away, who'll also be desperate for points in the West. So they will have to be at their best on the road, will Lou City.
Jimenez sprays it out to the far side, but Serrano isn't able to catch up to it. And it is out for a goal kick. And to be fair as well, the numbers back up what Danny Cruz has told us in the past. On the road this season, Lou City have lost just 3 times, 4 wins and 5 draws. They do tend to get points from road affairs this season. Well, it must be said the Switchbacks at home this season have only lost 3 times, 7 wins and 2 draws in the 12 home games prior to tonight for the Switchbacks. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+. Home of USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. 7 minutes and change left in this opening half. Lacroix, former Lou City man, Speedy Williams. Sprays the ball looking for Tejada on the near side. Looked like it was the right idea, didn't quite come off. And Lou City get possession back.
Lou City have done well to take the sting out of the match. The crowd has gone quiet. That energy, that real exciting energy they saw early on from Colorado Springs seems to have disappeared for a while. These white shirts, they're hunting down, they're closing down the home side, making it very difficult for them to get the likes of Deshane Beckford away down the right-hand side.
Some pressure from Mogul, who again needs to be careful, and Jade Chapman takes exception to that. And they nearly come to blows here, the two number 8s. Referee has to get involved, and again, Mogul's on a yellow card here, and Jade Chapman has to be careful as well.
Yeah, for me, if anything, as Jade Chapman's responded with a push, that has to be a yellow card. Yes, he's got Carlos Mogul all over him, and he is holding, so that's potentially. But you can't take an action like that and put your hands out towards somebody's face. So let's see how Gerald Flores settles this. Maybe it's everybody be friends and we move away. But yeah, there you go. Nice way to end that.
Right on cue.
Yeah.
Although a footnote on that, Gary, is how much jersey did Carlos Mogul? He's on a yellow card there. He has 2 fistfuls of Jake Chapman's shirts. Almost tempting the referee to send him off.
Well, I'm thinking now that might be a final warning for Carlos Mogul. Surely the referee, in having let him off there, is going to say if it happens again, then definitely second yellow.
Clean as a whistle challenge there from Perez to stop Beckford, who switched sides, and then Beckford nibbles with his challenge and gives away a free kick.
And sportsmanlike, helps Manny Perez to his feet. Very good player, Deshane Beckford, that he can play left or right. When he plays left, he'll cut in on his right foot when he needs to. But his pace is blistering. The problem they're having at the moment, Colorado Springs, the way I see it, just can't get him into the game. They can't get him with a bit of, green grass ahead of him. And that's because Lou City are closing down so well in all aspects of this game.
Enriquez, lovely ball. Chapman gets on the end of it. There was a collision behind the play. Tejada could be in here for the switchbacks. It's Romario Williams, 1-1. Lovely interplay from the switchbacks. It's a beautiful team goal to find the leveler. And with 5 minutes left in the first half, the switchbacks hit back. It's 1-1.
One Tejada doing so well there to create that down the right-hand side and set it up for Romario Williams, who then controls the ball superbly well. Have a look at this little breakaway in midfield. Jade Chapman head up, and he gets this beautiful pass to Tejada, and here's a look, squares it. Now Romario Williams still got a lot of work to do, a little bit of tricky skills to get past Sean Tosh, and then side foots it into the back of the net. There's the first touch, gets the angle, quick feet just to dispatch that in the corner. But a lovely play from Romario Williams for his 9th goal, and great build-up play as well from Tejada. And perhaps, to be fair, if you take into account the chances they had earlier on in the match, probably well deserved by Colorado Springs.
Switchbacks goal is presented by Century Casinos. Welcome to the winner's zone. And Colorado Springs is number 9, has his 9th goal of the campaign to get the Switchbacks on level terms with Lou City. Well, he's sent in here for a response by Louisville. Skundrich heads it towards the outskirts of the penalty area, back in by Winder. It falls for Jimenez, and this time he scuffs his volleyed attempt. And Tejada sees Skundrich in support, and the Switchbacks will just about deal with it in the end. We're told Paolo Del Piccolo was booked at the back end of the last sequence. Everything's kicking off in this one. Williams back on the attack for Colorado Springs. McGee in the middle. Goes for goal and skies it. Goes out for a goal kick.
Because there's Del Piccolo. He actually tripped up somebody in midfield as that goal was being scored, coming together of bodies. But go back to McGee. When he hits it with power. Unfortunately for him, a little bit too high and wide. But now the crowd have got a bit of energy. Go, look at those flags in the background there. And you guess that Widener Field's going to really start buzzing now. And that's good news for the home side.
Another Diversis Health yellow card. Paolo Del Piccolo. 2 players now in Danny Cruz's midfield could be carrying yellows going into halftime here at Widener Field. I think it's fair to say, Gary, that both teams are deserving of a goal in this first half. Plenty of attacking sequences. Both teams have had multiple opportunities, and both teams have found the back of the net. And now Zemla's come off his line here. Adams does just enough to hold off Tyreek McGee.
And it's a good time for Colorado Springs to have scored just before halftime. They can go into that locker room feeling positive. The crowd is buzzing. They've got themselves back on level terms. And they can be dangerous from this point onwards.
Here is Beckford. Chapman. Speedy Williams. And the Switchbacks turn this around before we get to halftime. McGee. Incisive pass for Romario Williams. Plays in Speedy Williams. Enriquez. In by Tejada. Just over the head of Chapman. Recycled by Beckford. Romario Williams. Lacroix. Beckford tried to slice a ball through for Romario Williams, and then Lacroix overruns it. Beckford keeps it alive for Chapman. Back for Beckford. Could be a gorgeous play here from the Switchbacks, but a crucial challenge by Mogul sends it out for a corner.
There you go. That's Beckford, isn't it? With that pace running into the box. That's where he's at his most dangerous. And Carlos Mogul, what a good tackle. If he doesn't get that one right, it's not only a penalty, it's a second yellow. So he had to get that spot on. But the pace of Deshane Beckford there, good tackle from Mogul.
Pepsi corner here as we enter 2 added minutes at the end of this first half. Pepsi, that's what I like. What's not been to like in this first half? It's been tremendous to take in here. Enriquez from the corner looking for Tejada, headed away by Harris at the near post. McGee on the recycle. Speedy Williams. Chapman poking it towards the edge of the penalty area, headed out by Perez for another Pepsi corner. Also should mention that stoppage time is brought to you by the TikTok shop. And the Switchbacks will get another chance to take the lead for the first time. Enriquez again. To the near post again, headed out by Perez. 1 minute left of injury time at the end of the half. Speedy Williams. Back for Chapman, who resets. Beckford. Gives it away, but it falls kindly for Skundrich. Skundrich flares it out wide. Enriquez places a ball into the penalty area, headed away by Kyle Adams. McGee. Chapman. And the Switchbacks create one more big chance here at the end of the half.
Well, if it is going to end, it ends on a really positive note for Colorado Springs. But bear in mind, Lou City have some big ammunition on the bench for the second half. Brian Omby in particular, Cam Lancaster. So they won't be too upset. A draw at halftime would probably be what both managers, or certainly Daniel Cruz, would have settled for.
Well, this ball is dunked in behind. Romario Williams tries to outjump Zemla. Zemla's still off his line here. Williams trying to find Beckford. Mogul couldn't clear it. Beckford blocked. Tejada! Saved by Zemla. And that's how the half ends at Widener Field. A frantic finish to the first 45 minutes, a bit of a microcosm of the half as a whole. And it's honors even with 45 big minutes still to play after a wild first half.
A brilliant first half. Credit to both sides. They've both attacked. They've worked hard. There's been some really good skills, some lovely moments from both sets of players, and can't wait for the second half. Top class today here.
No question about that. What didn't happen in the first 45 minutes? The Switchbacks were down a goal. They come back to equalize. And there's still 45 big minutes still to come at Widener Field. We'll take a break. Halftime is next.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned. Love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15 and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
We've all heard the phrase before, the mountains are calling. Well, these mountains are screaming. That's what gets me out here in the pool every day. They energize me, even when I'm not feeling it. In fact, they energize our whole family. We have done so much more outside in Colorado, hiking, biking, swimming, fishing, skiing, you name it, and we owe it to the mountains. They literally take your breath away.
Watch Scott Kilbury on Fox 21 Local News, weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you were out this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
Welcome back to halftime presented by Sunbelt. It is 1 goal apiece between the Switchbacks and Louisville City. Really fun half of USL Championship soccer in the books, and still a big half to come at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. But first things first, tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match is Demetria Ortiz-Kuth, surgical tech in the sterile processing department at Penrose Hospital. Thank you, Demetria, for all you've done to help our community. The healthcare professional of the match is co-sponsored by Encore Electric along with Olson Plumbing and Heating. Really good stuff there, and of course we have some action to look back on from earlier this week in the USL Championship. Gary, we start with a wild 3-3 affair in Albuquerque and a huge 2 points dropped in the end by New Mexico United.
It was a lead given by Moreno, and they should have gone on to do something with it, but Laje gets an equalizer for Las Vegas, and they wanted to score 2 more goals. Bagley with this strike, and then a couple of minutes later, square ball across to Rios. They were 3-1 up. To be fair, Moreno pulls 1 back for New Mexico to make it 3-2 over here, and then they got 1 after this from Seymour. So they sort of won a point, but you're right, at home it needed to be 3.
In the end, New Mexico stay outside of the playoff 8, whereas Phoenix at home against Sac Republic picked up a massive 3 points.
Yeah, Arteaga in the 60th minute, 1-0. There you go, you got it spot on. And then Danny Trejo going to the top of the goal scoring charts with that one there in the 65th minute. And really doing well against, of course, this fantastic Sacramento Republic side. There was a header by Shane Wheat here. It's a very good header. Just sort of guides it into the top corner, but in the end, not enough to stop Phoenix from getting all 3 points.
Phoenix, for now, sitting pretty in the West, but there's still work to do for Juan Guerra's group. Still work to do here between the Switchbacks and Louisville City. It's 1-1 at the half. We'll look a little bit closer around the league. The schedule, the scoreboard, and more is coming up next.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15 and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you at the half. The Switchbacks and Louisville City not pulling their punches here tonight at Widener Field. 1 goal apiece after a really entertaining half. We will see how things play out in the second half. But first, let's take a look at the news and notes from around the USL Championship. Karadio Dina gets a big transfer to reigning Dutch champions Feyenoord. That's a big move for him. A lot of players recently have been getting big moves around the USL Championship, and the incredible season for Paul Blanchett with the Oakland Roots continues.
Paul the Wall.
He's been living up to that.
He has been absolutely fantastic. Him and Oliver Zemler, probably the pick of the goalkeepers in the USL this season.
And of course, we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs in the USL Championship. Games like our game tonight are all getting us set for that. Upcoming schedule around the USL Championship, more important games around the league. Tampa Bay's got a few big ones coming up. Memphis on the road, then Lou City at home, and of course Pittsburgh against Loudoun, FC Tulsa tomorrow against the defending champions.
Yeah, if FC Tulsa don't win that, they could be in real trouble of qualifying in the East. And we mentioned for Lou City fans that match away at Tampa Bay Rowdies. They're normally perennial battlers at the top of the East, so they meet once again.
We'll see if they provide the fireworks that we've seen from them in recent years in the playoffs in particular. And again, huge games for just about everybody listed there. There's no question about that. The scoreboard from around the league, big wins for Indy and Tampa Bay. Memphis clawing a point back in Michigan. No goals elsewhere. And of course, Oakland taking on Sac Republic later on tonight.
Yeah, New Mexico 0-0 at halftime. I know it's a tough match against Charleston Battery, but they have to get a point. I'd rather say they have to get 3 points, a point not enough. Otherwise, they're also going to struggle to make the playoffs.
And the winner of that El Paso Monterey Bay game could really go on and do some things. The loser, who knows at this point? There's still a lot of games left, but all of these games could be pivotal in piling up the points or not getting enough at the end, with the top 8 in both leagues advancing to the USL Championship playoffs. We'll take a break here at Widener Field. Halftime highlights, stats, and the second half kick between Colorado Springs and Louisville is just around the corner.
We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
I moved here about 8 years ago to join the Fox 21 News team. I thought I'd only be here for a couple of years, but I absolutely fell in love with Southern Colorado. I also fell in love with a Pueblo boy when I was interviewing him about his food truck. Now we're married, we have this little girl, and my parents actually owned a restaurant in Arkansas, a catfish restaurant, so it's exciting that my daughter gets to grow up in a restaurant too, in her daddy's kitchen in Pueblo.
Watch Taylor Bishop, weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you got this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Rolls on here in Colorado Springs. The Switchbacks won, Lou City won. Really good contest so far between one of the best in the East and one of the best in the West, both fighting for playoffs and playoff positioning. We'll get to the second half in just a few moments, but first and foremost, let's look back at that wild half. Halftime highlights are brought to you by Broadmoor Cryotherapy, and we begin with Colorado Springs on the attack.
Yeah, Jairo Enriquez has a good shot here. It's fairly straight at Oliver Zemler, but the keeper nonetheless has to deal with the power and push that one away. And as much as he was busy on one side, Oliver Zemler, Kuzminski had a couple of moments as well. This one from Wilson Harris, also at an angle, also pretty sort of straight at the goalkeeper. So both goalkeepers doing what they can, but not much that Kuzminski could do about this. Jorge Gonzalez losing his marker there from a Carlos Mogul corner in the 22nd minute. And the goalkeeper, Kuzminski, can just watch that fly past him into the back of the net.
Second goal of the season for Jorge Gonzalez, and it was part of a good spell for Lou City, putting some pressure on, but the Switchbacks fought back.
Yeah, Duke Lacroix is going to put a great ball in here. Romario Williams is going to run across the face of Oliver Zemler, so the keeper doesn't know whether he's going to get a touch or not, and in the end has to put out a left hand to make a really good save from that Duke Lacroix cross.
Zemler made a couple of big saves in the first half, but he couldn't get anywhere near this in the 41st.
Yeah, this is a wonderful run here and counter-attack. Ball played out wide to one Tejada, and he finds Romario Williams. Look at the touch there to take him past Sean Tosh, and then a quick finish into the back of the net. The big number 9 there, wearing number 9, does so well there to eventually beat Oliver Zemler.
And fittingly, it was his 9th goal of the season, Romario Williams, to equalize with a few minutes left in the first half. And Broadmoor Cryotherapy brings you the halftime stats here, and ton of chances, multiple shots on target for both teams, 11 shots for the Switchbacks to Lou City's 9, and a really entertaining half from the neutrals' perspective.
It was, because you often get shots on target being 1 or 2, but listen, in this case it's 5 versus 4, which is brilliant. Look out for the 2 yellow cards for Lou City. Carlos Mogul could be on a final warning. Del Piccolo the other one. And if you want expected goals, it's 0.5 for Colorado Springs and 0.41 for Lou City. So it's fairly even.
Really good first half here at Widener Field. We're hoping for more of the same in the second half, and the crowd is hoping here in Colorado Springs that the Switchbacks can turn what currently sits as 1 point apiece into 3 for their beloved Switchbacks. Of course, this was how the first meeting between these two finished up at 1 goal apiece. The first half sending indication that is highly unlikely here in the rematch. Gerald Flores having a word with Paolo Del Piccolo gives us an opportunity, Gary, to remind everyone watching that Del Piccolo's on a yellow card, Mogul Jr. on a yellow card for Lou City. Nobody in that position yet for the Switchbacks, but that'll be something to keep an eye on, because the game has been physical at times in this one so far.
Yeah, it has, and Carlos Mogul in particular has been warned by referee Gerald Flores. He nearly got a second yellow for pulling again, so I don't think he's got much leeway left, and it might be that Danny Cruz will pull him off after 10 minutes. He's got a couple of really good options on the bench, defensive midfield in Tyler Gibson and Niall McCabe.
Lou City gets the second half started. They'll be going from left to right in their road whites. No team made any changes. It is the same 11s that began the match to begin the second half here at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. 1 goal apiece. Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey, our entire crew. Happy to have you with us. We hope you've enjoyed it so far. It's been really fun to watch, and we're expecting it to continue to be that fun in the second half as well. And both teams had a boatload of chances. Both took a chance each. And we'll see who can build on their position in half number 2. Huge game in particular for the Switchbacks, so we're trying to hold on to one of the final 2 playoff spots in the West. It's also big for Lou City, fighting for home field advantage in the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Yeah, especially when you bear in mind the games that both these teams have coming up. For Lou City, 5 of the next 6 are going to be on the road, and for Colorado Springs, the next 3 are against the top 3 in the West. So, you know, it's a very valuable 3 points here, because they might sort of struggle to get lots of 3-pointers in the forthcoming weeks.
Here's Tyreek McGee for the Switchbacks, has space to run into. Finds Chapman, who pokes it along for Beckford, who sends it over the top.
He's frustrated because it was all set up for him. It was well left by Chapman, and you think that he's going to hit it more cleanly than he does, or more accurately perhaps is the thing. He hits it with enough power, doesn't keep it down, and doesn't test Oliver Zemler at all.
Both goalkeepers have been tested tonight. No question about that. Zemler's come up with a couple of big saves, although that's turning into be routine for him. And Joe Kuzminski's bailed out the Switchbacks once or twice already.
Yeah, good thing for Lou City. We mentioned it in the first half, besides the defensive midfielders they can bring on for Carlos Miguel, you've got, perhaps for me, the best player in the whole of Lou City's lineup. Brian Ownby is still fully recovering from injury. Came on last match against Oakland Roots and got them back in the match at 1-1 with a very brave header. You got Cam Lancaster as one of the all-time great finishers in the USL. You got Rasmus Tellefsen. You've even got the 6'7" Martin Powles. So you've got really good attacking options for Danny Cruz, and no doubt we will see a fair number of those players in the second half.
Wilson Harris was begging for a corner kick there. Initially it was looking like it was going to be a goal kick. It is a corner, brought to you by Pepsi. And we'll see how the Switchbacks deal with this defensive situation. And just a reminder, of course, because of the 3 sendings off for the Switchbacks last time out, a bunch of youngsters on the bench for them. They do have Erdman and Wheeler. Marco Rios, Dylan Clark, and the new signing Caden Hickox make up most of the bench, although Steven Echeverria, veteran, is there as well. From the corner, oh, it's headed in! Lou City have scored both of their goals from corners tonight. This time, it's a thumping header by Elijah Winder. And for the second time tonight, Louisville take the lead.
Great header from young Elijah Winder. Really puts some power behind it and gives Joe Kuzminski no chance whatsoever. But come on, Colorado Springs, has happened to you once in the first half. Got to stay tight. He's got a free header. He's got away from someone. I see Romario Williams looking on. But you've got to stay close and at least make it a difficult header. In the end, he's got no one around him. He can put all his attention on making a good contact and getting power behind it. That's exactly what Elijah Winder does. And now they're back in the lead again, Lou City.
Third goal of the season for Elijah Winder. And once again, set pieces set back the Switchbacks. It's almost a carbon copy of Jorge Gonzalez's goal from the first half.
Well, it's been 2 goals from corners in this match. It's been 2 goals from penalties in the previous match. Penalties given away by Colorado Springs. I guess if you're Stephen Hogan, you're beginning to get pretty frustrated with all these goals coming from set pieces.
Again, the Switchbacks look to answer. McGee assesses his options, slides it through beautifully for Enriquez. Tejada out wide, and he picks somebody out. It was a really dangerous ball into the middle. Nobody in black and blue could get a piece of it. Speedy Williams keeps it alive for Tyreek McGee. This is Lacroix. Beckford gets a second chance at it. Speedy Williams slows it down just a tick for Skundrich. Enriquez, couple of step overs, slicing a ball into the penalty area. Perez heads it out. Williams almost used Harris there to keep it alive for a moment. It's cleared out of play, and actually the referee's come back and given a free kick.
He's probably just trying to play advantage. That's good refereeing. Advantage doesn't accrue, and you can bring it back. We're just talking about set pieces. So 2 in this match, 2 in the previous match. And if we go back to Oakland Roots, they gave away a penalty. Anwar Pillai is scoring there. So that's 5 goals from set pieces that they have conceded Colorado Springs at a stage in their season where they're hanging on to a place in the playoffs. That is so frustrating for the management team and, of course, for the players themselves.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern, plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Harris kept fighting through, a couple of nudges away from the ball, nearly got it. Beckford has it for the Switchbacks. Trying to lead them in transition. Chapman's through the middle. That's his Romario Williams. Beckford finds Chapman. And it's set up nicely for him, but in the end, it is a poor effort off the volley from Jay Chapman.
Yeah, it's a very optimistic one to turn and hit that and get it on target. There were options inside. Romario Williams was waiting for a pass. Tejada was as well. You just wonder if that wasn't a better option for him. This again is where Beckford's dangerous. With that pace of his down either flank, gets inside. And it was the first touch wasn't great as well by Jay Chapman, so it made it difficult for him to control the ball. But a positive move by Colorado Springs. At least they're on the attack, and the crowd getting a little bit more noisy in the background there.
It's always a good atmosphere here at Widener Field. Tonight is no exception. Once again, Colorado Springs have to come from behind. Blue City lead for a second time tonight. After intercepting the pass, Drew Skundrich gives possession back to Louisville on the far side. By the way, Gary, Carlos Mogul now has 2 assists for Louisville. Both of his corner deliveries have been tucked into the back of the net.
There's going to be some serious discussion tomorrow whenever the players get together for Colorado Springs as to who's marking who, because nothing infuriates you more than defensively just giving away what I would call cheap goals where at least make it difficult, have someone leaning on the person heading the ball. But certainly Jorge Gonzalez, his was a bit more difficult. He had to stretch forward ahead of Duke Lacroix to get his head to the ball for the first goal, but the second one, absolutely unmarked Elijah Winder right in the center of the box. So recriminations, no doubt, should they lose this match, Colorado Springs. Oh, that was risky.
Dangerous moment there with Gonzalez trying to get past Kuzminski. Another piece of evidence that this is a game that you can't take your eyes off at the moment. Perez finds Serrano. Serrano has some space to work with. Chapman tries to close him down. Del Piccolo all over the top for Serrano. And it's cleared out of play by Oscar Agran, and it's going to be a corner for Louisville.
Dare I say? Colorado Springs mark up and mark up tight.
Surely not a third. We will see. It's a T. Rowe Price corner for Louisville on the near side.
It does seem that Colorado Springs are marking zones. Maybe again, that's where some of the confusion comes. If you're not given a player to mark a zone, you're not quite sure who's got what zone or where. Let's see how this one goes.
Jimenez to deliver. Goes to the back post. It nearly sat nicely for Harris. It was headed away before he could get a chance to take a big swing at it, and it's going to be a Louisville throw on the other end.
It's an interesting one. Talking to coaches, some prefer man-to-man marking, some prefer zonal, some even have a mixture where you have 3 or 4 players in zones and the rest mark man-to-man. As a keeper, I always look at it and think I'd rather have man-to-man, because then there's no excuse. There's no looking the other way saying, well, it was his man or mine. Yours, it's your man. You stick to that person. You don't let them get away from you.
Tosh tried to head that down for Del Piccolo. It was cut out. This is where the switchbacks can be very dangerous if they break out here. McGee, in the end, though, is dispossessed by Gonzalez, who does well to tightrope the far sideline. He can't find Wilson Harris, and instead finds the gloves of Joe Kuzminski.
I think the ball might have gone out of play there. Certainly Colorado Springs players felt so. They all stopped for a second. And the old story is play to the whistle.
Skundrich up ahead to Tejada. Tejada, nice chest down by Romario Williams. Great control as well, and his header is off of Tosh. And out for a corner. Handball appeals coming in from Romario Williams. We'll take another look.
Oh, he's so big and strong with such a great touch. Romario Williams, one of the players that Danny Cruz picked out as the biggest threat to Lou City. Let's have a look here. Chests it, flicks it up and over. I think it comes off Sean Tosh's shoulder, if anything. The header, but a real threat, Romario Williams in that box.
It'll be a McDivitt Law Firm corner instead. McGee from the corner. Oh, it's Lacroix centrally! And then it's skewered wide by Romario Williams, and it's a goal kick. He thinks it came off a Lou City player. It's going to be Lou City ball.
I talk about defending a corners has been optional in this match, because Duke Lacroix gets there, and I'm thinking he can head this into the goal. He tries to head it back, but he's got an angle there where he probably could have gone for the far corner. Oliver Zemler was looking at his near post. A really good chance there for Colorado Springs.
We have kept the same flow from the first half into the second half. Ton of chances for both teams here. And we still have 30+ minutes plus stoppage time to go. At the moment, Elijah Winder has Louisville ahead. But here come the switchbacks. Enriquez tries to dance past 2 defenders. Oh, it's nearly played in for Romario Williams, who's brought down by Kyle Adams. Or maybe it's the other way around here. Williams is penalized, and he's going to be booked as well. It's going to be a Lou City free kick, and Romario Williams is going to see yellow.
I'd like to see that again. I thought both players went for the ball. I thought for a second Romario Williams was going to get there first because of his pace. Let's have a look. I think Romario Williams gets there first. I thought it was going to be a free kick for him. Although, to be fair to Gerald Flores, we get to see the replays, and he gets 1 instant to make a decision. And he's decided in this case that Romario Williams didn't get there first, but I think in reality it might be different.
Well, I was with you, Gary. Live, I thought it was going to go against Kyle Adams. In the end, Romario Williams gets a diverse his health yellow card. We're going to take a moment to breathe.
And what's more than that, they don't get a free kick on the edge of the box.
Oh, and actually, while that's all going on here, Stephen Hogan had a word with the official, and it appears he's been sent off. Didn't like the decision, and maybe said a magic word or two. A red card was shown, it looked like, to Stephen Hogan. We'll get confirmation on that. But Gerald Flores has at least sent somebody off. Was it Stephen Hogan? Was it an assistant? We will find out.
Well, I can understand the frustration, but you've got to let the referee make the calls that they make. It's difficult, and I suppose, to be fair to Stephen Hogan, he's had a match in which they had 3 players sent off last game. So he's probably still fuming, but you've got to just let these decisions play out, and referees are not going to get it 100% right every time. That's just part of the game, especially when you haven't got VAR.
And we've just been told that it's the assistant coach, James Chambers, we actually caught up with this week. He's been sent off. So the switchbacks We'll go on here. Hour gone at Widener Field to Shane Beckford, dances his way through. Good ball across. Adams touches it away from Williams. Chapman keeps it alive and sends it back in, but it's too close to Zemla, who collects.
Good play from Shane Beckford again. That pace, whips it across. Kyle Adams just tries to get anything on it. One of those that can fly in the back of the net as an own goal. Look at that skill there. And he gets a touch and just alleviates the danger. But you just wonder for Lou City whether it's time to start making some changes, get some fresh bodies on the pitch, because Colorado Springs are beginning to attack with more power and more pace, and certainly an Ownby and one or two other players, Tyler Gibson's, McCabe's, they come on, they might just be able to slow Colorado Springs down.
Well, anyone out there with a USL Championship bingo card tonight may have had a couple of crisscrosses already. Checked off almost all the boxes this evening, and there's still half an hour left. Lacroix, delicate first touch, and he's brought down by Ray Serrano. Switchbacks are asking if a yellow card is in order. We'll take another look at the challenge.
Ball out from Kuzminski. Good first touch, Lacroix. Yep, that's definitely a yellow from Ray Serrano, and that is bordering on red, going over the top on the ankle. That's a nasty one.
It is a confirmed Diversis Health yellow card for Ray Serrano. As Lacroix is slow to get up. Serrano checks on Lacroix.
He's trying to apologize, Ray Serrano, and Lacroix is just shaking his head, no, saying, no, that was a bad one. That's on you.
And in the meantime, Lou City are going to make a host of changes here. Looks like Tyler Gibson is going to come on for Carlos Mogul Jr., who's certainly done his job tonight. Niall McCabe is going to come on for Paolo Del Piccolo. And Jorge Gonzalez, who scored the first goal of the night, he is going to come off. And we will see Brian Ownby come on. He's been a super sub recently for Lou City. He's on here for the final segment of the match. And the substitutions are brought to you by William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org.
He's such a wonderful player, Brian Ownby. Such a dangerous player running at defenses, and it can help Lou City get back on the front foot a bit. It'll be a concern for Colorado Springs how they stop Brian Ownby.
So again, 3 changes in all for Louisville. Gibson, McCabe, and Ownby on. Mogul, Del Piccolo, and Gonzalez off. First touch for Gibson, along with McCabe helping out. Of course, Del Piccolo and Mogul Jr. are both on yellow cards. So that helps to make that decision for Danny Cruz. And then Ray Serrano, the only one left with a yellow. And then, of course, a difference maker comes on in Brian Ownby. 3 goals and 3 assists in an injury-riddled season, it must be said.
Yeah, and what you've got is 3 experienced players. Tyler Gibson, 31, McCabe, 32, Ownby, 33. They know how to see out matches when they're in the lead. They know how to cope with the pressure away from home. And those are 3 good players to bring on the pitch for Danny Cruz.
Danny Cruz talked to us this week about how well Kyle Adams has come in and addressed the depth defensively that Lou City were lacking after Josh Winder was sold to Benfica. You talk about the midfield depth, no issues there. Basically brings on a fresh set of midfield players to try to help see this out from a Lou City perspective.
The problem for Colorado Springs, as you mentioned, they've got a bunch of kids on the bench. They've got Steven Echeverria, who you might think would come on. Aaron Wheeler, if you want someone big and experienced up front. Dennis Erdman, perhaps, but nowhere near the riches that Lou City have on their bench.
McGee gets past a McCabe challenge. Gibson and Ownby collapse on him, and Ownby wins the challenge for Louisville. Ownby has Harris in support, McCabe on an overlap, Serrano on the near side. 25 minutes left. Serrano in for Perez, Back across the middle where Harris was in the area initially, but he had since made his run. That's cleared out for Tosh. And Serrano cheekily through the legs of Beckford. Serrano into the middle over everybody's head and out for a throw.
It's pity about the cross race, Serrano. What skill down the touchline. A nutmeg with a back heeler. That's fantastic skill. And just a pity he didn't whip the ball in and score a goal, because that would have been repeaters of. And have a look here. Little back heel there, but back heel drag, nutmeg, and Beckford doesn't even bother to chase. He just goes, well done. That's just too good. It doesn't deserve me chasing you.
Player down for the Switchbacks. In the meantime, injury stoppage is brought to you by Centura Health. Some would say that that was a $1 million move with a 10-cent finish from Ray Serrano. Didn't quite complete the play, but what a piece of skill it was in the build-up.
Sean Tosh is taking advantage of the water that was available there, or the drinks. Brought on by the Colorado Springs team. McGee just walking that one off, or trying to.
Hopefully he's okay from a Switchbacks perspective.
As mentioned, they haven't got the depth on the bench to make too many changes, so probably find that Stephen Hogan will try and keep most of these players on. Might just change one or two as the match ticks away, but wouldn't have thought more than that.
And to be fair, some of those youngsters have gotten some first-team play. Marcos Diaz has made a good impact at times this season. Dylan Clark has gotten some minutes as well, but obviously three important players not available for the Switchbacks, and that could certainly make an impact on how this game finishes.
Absolutely. And those players, because they're young and inexperienced, it's great to bring them on when you're winning 2-0, 3-0, but in a match like this, you want your more experienced players.
Ownby trying to put some more pressure on the Switchbacks. It is shielded out by Oscar Agren. And Kuzminski restarts the play via a goal kick. Zemla resets. Still a big segment of the match left. It's been a seesaw affair. Lou City took the lead. Switchbacks equalized just before halftime. Lou City took the lead again 4 minutes into the start of the second half.
Safety there from Sean Tosh. Just get it up the pitch and try and play in the opponent's half. Unfortunately offside for Lou City.
I can give you a couple more scoring updates, Gary. Sac Republic at Oakland, they lead by a 1-0. About 30 minutes in to that game. It's halftime in El Paso. Monterey Bay leading on the road by a 0-0. 45 minutes still to go there. And it's 0-0 in Albuquerque, still between New Mexico and Ben Pierman's Charleston Battery with about 20 minutes left.
Poor El Paso, they must be on the worst run of form at the moment. I think there's hardly got a win in the last 10 or 11 games. It's been, and before that, they'd won virtually every game for a stretch of 8 or 9. So it's been a real mixed season for El Paso.
Here is McGee. Good to see him back, making things happen for the Switchbacks. Speedy Williams. Can he be a difference maker against his former club? Beckford, always a candidate for being a difference maker in a match. How close did Duke Lacroix come a few minutes ago to equalizing as well for the Switchbacks? Switchbacks expected goals almost at 1.6 now. Blue Cities is still at 0.64. Switchbacks have been knocking on the door, but with 20 minutes left, Blue City have the ball and they have the lead. Ownby Couple of step overs. He's going to go for the shot. In the end, it wasn't his best effort.
Net expected goals of 0.64 for Lou City just shows you how they've been not gifted goals from corners, but it's just been too easy for them to score. And whereas Colorado Springs have made the better chances, judging by expected goals, and yet it's been difficult to beat Oliver Zemler, and there's been some good defending from those at the back for Lou City.
Jorge Gonzalez and Elijah Winder have the 2 Lou City goals, sandwiching in a Romario Williams goal for the Switchbacks as Tyler Gibson drags down Tyreek McGee. He might get away with a yellow. That's his first challenge. And his facial expression may very well concur with that. It's a free kick for Colorado Springs. Here's Beckford. 2 players on him. Slicing a ball through for Romario Williams. This is Chapman. Beckford. Still Beckford. Tries to take aim. His shot is blocked. Skundrich for Tejada. Enriquez. Speedy Williams. Back for Enriquez and then back for Skundrich. Lou City forced the Switchbacks all the way back to Kuzminski.
Yeah, good defending from Lou City on both fullbacks. They were double teaming Deshane Beckford on the one side and one Tejada on the other side. Just let's have a look and see if they double up again.
This is Beckford, who drags his shot wide. It did take a deflection. It's out for a Switchbacks corner on the far side. So McDivitt Law Firm corner upcoming for the Switchbacks in pursuit of an equalizer once again, I should say.
Just talking about the defending of Lou City doubling up in the fullback position. Now they have to make sure that they mark up tight at corners, and let's see if they mark man for man or not.
Whistle ends up coming in before the corner was taken. It will be taken again.
And this is more man-to-man. Have a look at those players in the middle here. They've got somebody they have to keep an eye on. It's their job, and that, I think, is an easier way to arrange your defense.
In by McGee, who nearly fell for Skundrich. Headed away, I think, by Elijah Winder, and then Gibson tries to play Lou City in transition, and then Winder is taken out on this near side by Beckford, who's not happy with the decision. A yellow card is going to come his way. That's a Lou City set piece, and a Diverses Health yellow card for Beckford.
That's a definite yellow card. He's come in late there. Elijah Winder doing so well to get that touch on the ball. Not quite sure what Deshane Beckford was arguing with the assistant ref for.
Could have just been out of frustration. I need to take a moment to breathe. Deshane Beckford, as Diverses Health likes to say. It is a Lou City set-piece opportunity from Tosh. It could open up here for Ownby. Emphasis on the word could. The Switchbacks will reset. McGee, so active tonight for the Switchbacks, as have been many of their attacking players. Beckford switches the point of attack to Tejada. Tejada will go for goal. In the end, it is held by Oliver Zemler.
I think Jay Chapman was just saying to him, you need to pull it back. It's very difficult to score from out there at that angle. Beautiful play, though. McGee in midfield making up options. Deshane Beckford switching it from left to right. They've got all the bodies in the box looking for a square ball, and instead Tejada tries a very difficult shot from a tight angle.
Wilson Harris for Lou City on the other end. About 15 minutes plus stoppage time still to go. McCabe, the Irishman, lays it back for Oscar Jimenez. Win for Louisville could put them back within striking distance of Charleston Battery for third spot in the East. They're fighting for home playoff games, Danny Cruz's bunch. This ball's whipped in by Serrano, and Harris running onto it. Couldn't square it up.
It's a good run from Wilson Harris, and he just gets in front of the defender. I think it was Skundrich. Gets the header, but can't make a clean header. But it's a good ball in. It's whipped in with pace. It asked the question. And Wilson Harris responds really well. Ray Serrano, nice ball in. Comes in late, just doesn't make a clean enough contact.
McGee. And again, space here for Tejada to maneuver. Enriquez in support. Speedy Williams. Through for Jay Chapman. Can the Switchbacks fight their way back onto level terms? McGee, just past the head of McCabe. There was late drama in the first meeting only years ago between these two. Are we in store for some more? Tejada to McGee. Beckford on the near side. Shane Beckford, in the end, is dispossessed by Manny Perez. It's a goal kick.
You could see what he was trying to do to Shane Beckford. He cut inside and then wanted to go back on the outside and just doesn't quite connect with the ball properly. But I still like his attitude, and if I was in his team, I'd be saying just keep getting in the box, keep running at players. You might not get it right every time, but with your pace, you're going to get a fair number of opportunities. And that's what they've got to keep believing. Colorado Springs, try and stay on that front foot. Obviously, if you lose City, it's just control the match and just try and play in the opponent's half and work that clock down.
That ball is sent ahead. Touch forward to Romario Williams. Tejada making a run into the penalty area. Williams for Beckford. Shane Beckford going to work. Two men on him. Beckford again finds McGee. McGee looks for an opening. Now we can hit them from there, Tyreek McGee. He finds Skundrich on the far side. First time ball in from Speedy Williams, headed away by Perez.
Look at the number of white shirts that were in that area there. There was just a wall of white in front of McGee as he was trying to thread the ball through. Everyone back defending for Lou City.
McGee again. Switchbacks probing here. It's headed centrally past Tejada. Cleared by Gibson only as far as Enriquez. Enriquez, incisive ball through for Tejada. Tejada back for Enriquez. Enriquez into the middle. It's Chapman. He tries an acrobatic volley. It was knocked down by Adams and held by Zemla.
Yeah, so difficult. Chapman's even saying, I needed a ball that's a little bit easier to hit than that, but it's so difficult when there's that many white shirts in the middle. There was no space, and they defended well. Lou City didn't put out a foot, didn't trip anyone, didn't take a risk of a handball. They just let the attackers do what they had to, but didn't give them much space to maneuver.
Right now in the live table, and again, things can change as Ownby is brought down by Skundrich, and that's got a yellow card written all over it. So Skundrich has his name taken by the referee. It's a diverse as health yellow card. Get to the live table in a second. Changes coming for both teams here. Talked about the young up-and-coming talent, Marco Rios. He's coming on to take the place of Jay Chapman. And a USL Championship legend is going to come on for Lou City. Cameron Lancaster will replace Wilson Harris. Both are William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center substitutions.
Rios just 17 years of age. It's very, very young, but if he wants to make a name for himself, the next 10 minutes would be the perfect time to do it. Get an equalizer for Colorado Springs, and that'll get the fans to love you.
Again, just a quick reminder of what this could mean for the Switchbacks. They would stay in 7th, but only on goal difference, ahead of El Paso, who are currently losing. There's a long way to go. Ball is whipped in from the set piece. It hits the wall from Cameron Lancaster. And with 10 minutes of the 90 left, it's going to be a Pepsi corner for Louisville.
Don't see anybody in a white shirt in a hurry to go and take the corner, not surprisingly. That's their job now, with 10 minutes to go. Just see out the match, be professional, keep that crowd quiet. And you mentioned how good on the road they are, Lou City. All these experienced heads know exactly what to do in these situations.
And corners have been a catalyst tonight for Louisville. They've scored both of their goals from set pieces, from corners in particular. Get another one here. It's lifted in towards the back post. Lancaster chases it down. His former teammate, Speedy Williams, on his coattails. Serrano for Gibson. Adams on a recycle. Another goal could see Louisville really stamp their authority on proceedings. Perez for Ownby. Tosh, as you just mentioned, Gary, Lou City won't be in a ton of hurry. They know how to manage games down the stretch, especially on the road. But Ownby's in behind, and it's a ricochet back from Lacroix. Not a back pass, and it's going to be a Kuzminski recycle for the Switchbacks.
That ball could have gone anywhere from Duke Lacroix. Fortunately for Colorado Springs, it goes straight to Kuzminski.
Lacroix. Down the line for McGee. Tejada has to come in support, and he does. Back for Lacroix. Skundrich. There's Marco Rios. Going at Kyle Adams. And in the end, it looks like he has won a corner for the Switchbacks. It's a McDivitt corner. Marco Rios has scored in the league this season for the Switchbacks. Can he be part of their comeback attempt here in the final moments?
It just seems like the referee's walked off the pitch for some reason. Don't know what it is as yet. All the players waiting for him to reappear. Well done to young Marco Rios. A nice positive play down the right-hand side, an attacking play, and that helps him with that corner.
I told the referee had to go over to one of the benches on the near side. And we're told that Colorado Springs head coach Stephen Hogan received a yellow card for dissent. As Danny Cruz watches on for Louisville. Of course, James Chambers, the assistant for Colorado Springs, was already sent packing tonight. Now it's a corner for Colorado Springs. It's whipped into a dangerous area. I think that was McCabe who got his head to it. And it's another McDivitt Law Firm corner, with the Switchbacks in pursuit of yet another equalizer.
That was an important header from Niall McCabe, because Oliver Zemler had come for the ball and got lost in the box, the goalkeeper. And he was vulnerable off his line, and McCabe came to the rescue.
He again, they tried to play it short for Williams, cut out by Jimenez, and Lou City could have the Switchbacks stretched at the back here. Perez is played in behind, but the speed of Beckford snuffs out the transitional move. Speedy Williams uses his body well there to stop Perez as advances, and the Switchbacks can reset with 6 minutes of the 90 left. Lacroix. For Mario Williams. Do the Switchbacks have a late twist up their sleeves here? They did when these two teams met 2 years ago. Michi Galina scored late on to equalize. The Switchbacks repeat the trick here. McGee. Clean challenge by Ownby. McGee again. Back heels it. Enriquez keeps it in play. Gibson defends the play on the far side. And it's a goal kick.
Again, good defensive work from Lou City all over the pitch, closing down, doing the job they needed to do. That makes it hard for Colorado Springs. They're just not able to find gaps, not able to find space. They're getting double teamed out wide. They're getting a ton of players in front of them in the middle of the box. Of course, you've got fresh legs up front and Lancaster and Ownby just chasing everything. Well, the crowd still believe, they're still waving flags and jumping up and down.
Switchbacks have 5 minutes plus stoppage time to save themselves a point. In a game that we both thought the Switchbacks really needed to win. At this point, would they take a point, Stephen Hogan's group, do you think?
I think they would. Given you're 2-1 down, you don't have much choice. Anything would be a positive at this stage.
Beckford trying to make it happen, but his cross into the middle is sliced away by Serrano. And the Switchbacks are going to make a substitution here. Lou City might also be making a change, but in the meantime, Aaron Wheeler, he's going to come on. That is going to be the end of the night for Deshane Beckford. J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. Certainly a player that could hold up the play. Give some opportunities to the Switchbacks wingers.
Yeah, gets on the end of balls like for headers, Aaron Wheeler. Real handful physically.
Lou City, similar change. Martin Powells is going to come on. And Ray Serrano will exit in the 87th minute. Another William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center change. Wheeler's first touch is a cross in for Romario Williams. It went past him. It's a poor clearance by Perez. Switchbacks will keep it via a throw. 3 minutes of the 90 left. McGee was headed on by Williams, but no one reacted in time for the Switchbacks, and it's out for a goal kick. And Romario Williams wants to know how much time is left for them to save it. And the answer is 3 minutes plus whatever stoppage time has left for us.
And the news from El Paso, who is sitting right next to Colorado Springs, as they've drawn level with Monterey Bay. So this could end up being a very bad night for Colorado Springs if El Paso get a result, and they will hop up the table, and Colorado Springs will start being on the very, very edge of qualifying.
Powells gets in behind, he could seal it. Oh, it's a brilliant finish. Moments after coming on, Martin Powells seals all 3 points for Louisville City. It's his first goal for Louisville this season. And Danny Cruz's boys are going to leave Widener Field with all 3 points.
That's brilliant play by Lou City. They've soaked up all the pressure. They've dealt with all the issues. Martin Powells, in fact, gets a turnover ball. Brian Ownby, who else? His vision, and puts Martin Powells through. Great little touch to get away, and then a good finish. But Brian Ownby knows where the big man is. He's got fresh legs, fresh mind. Little clever maneuver there to get it onto his right foot and tucks it in the corner. And we've criticized him in the past, the fact that as a striker he hasn't scored in his 10 matches to date. Well, in his 11th match he's finally got the breakthrough. And you can see how delighted his teammates are for him.
And the traveling Lou City supporters are all smiles. What an impact off the bench for Martin Powells. And the road mentality for Danny Cruz's Louisville City is coming to the fore again. Although, as I say that, a challenge comes in, and the referee's pointed to the spot. Tahad has gone down. It's a Switchbacks penalty.
Talk about drama. This match has had absolutely everything. Last match they gave away 2 penalties, Colorado Springs. Well, they get a chance to come back in the dying moments.
I've been told there's no yellow card, but moments after Lou City had appeared to have sealed it, the door opens again for the Switchbacks. A chance for Romario Williams to give Colorado Springs a late lifeline as we enter stoppage time. Romario Williams has scored once already tonight. Can he keep the Switchbacks in it? Yes, he can. We enter 3 added minutes. Colorado Springs are still in this with 3 minutes left. Romario Williams scores his 10th goal of the season, and it's 3-2.
That's a good tuck away by Romario Williams, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, puts it right in the corner with pace, with power, takes no chances whatsoever to get his 2nd goal of this game. Look at that, tucks it away neatly, and takes advantage of that penalty of Tejada being brought down. And now, what have they got? 2.5 minutes left. What an ending to this game.
Switchbacks goal is presented by Century Casinos. Welcome to the winner's zone. And stoppage time is brought to you by TikTok Shop. We still have 2+ minutes left. Can the Switchbacks save themselves here? Enriquez. Lovely skill to get past Powells. Sends it into the middle looking for Wheeler, who's out left by Zemla.
And that is a fantastic catch by Oliver Zemla, because Aaron Wheeler's really good in there, and he's a big unit as well. The goalkeeper's come, he's stretched, he's taken a little bit of a risk, and he's got the ball. So well done, the goalkeeper. Took a bit of a knock, which gives him the free kick. So once again, Oliver Zemla really doing the business for Lou City.
Just to make an amendment, it's 4 added minutes, so there's still time for the Switchbacks. But that was a huge piece of goalkeeping from Oliver Zemla. Ownby. Can Louisville manage these last few minutes? Ownby in the corner, tries to deal with Skundrich. Lancaster, ball somehow stayed in, but it's a Switchbacks throw-in on the back end. 2 minutes left, and then that's a rash challenge from Ownby, free kick for Colorado Springs, who still have a couple of minutes left. And now Cameron Lancaster's been booked.
He threw the ball somewhere, Cam Lancaster. I guess the referee's saying you didn't throw it in the right direction. And now it's a case of the white shirts just trying to close this ball out, get it away from their goal mouth, make sure that no chances fall to Colorado Springs. Of course, for the home side, it's exactly the opposite. They've got to get that ball in there to Aaron Wheeler, get some air on the ball high up for Aaron Wheeler.
Ball's played into the penalty area. It's Rios! Saved by Zemla, out for a corner. Golden chance. And the Switchbacks will get a McDivitt Law Firm corner in the final minute.
That's exactly what they did, didn't they? They've got the ball in the box and they got the knockdown. Here we go.
McGee's ball in. Goalkeeper's up there as well. Wheeler gets his head to it. Kept alive by McGee. Back into the middle. Headed out by Adams. There's still a minute left. Speedy Williams in behind. It's a mad scramble. Rios trying to keep it alive. Sean Tosh takes it into the corner. Tejada helps out. It's going to be another corner. Pikes Peak corner on the near side. Final seconds for the Switchbacks. Talk about a frantic finish to the match. In by Enriquez. Zemla holds.
Fantastic goalkeeping yet again from Oliver Zemla. Just when you need your goalkeeper the most, because there was chaos in the box. Players were looking for other players to mark. Ball gets whipped in quickly, and who comes out? Oliver Zemla catches it, slows the entire match down, and that should be, in theory, game, set, and match.
Zemla clears. We've had the 4 added minutes. Lou City play it ahead. Lancaster will take it into the corner. Switchbacks need to get this up the field. It's going to be a goal kick, but is there enough time left? The answer is no. Full time at Widener Field. An epic finish to the match. Could have gone either way at the death, but in the end, Louisville survives with a 3-2 victory and a crucial 3 points for Danny Cruz's boys.
Absolutely brilliant from both sides. I know it's going to be a tough one for Colorado Springs because they get no points and they needed them, but brilliant, and especially from Lou City on the road.
We look at the critical moment of the match. It's brought to you by Centura Health. It was the penalty conversion by Romario Williams. It nearly led to the comeback for the Switchbacks when it looked like it was all done and dusted. But in the end, Louisville just about held on at the end.
They did, and that Martin Powell's goal becomes even more important with Sean Tosh giving away the penalty there. And from a Lou City point of view, that third goal just gave them enough of a cushion for Tejada and company. Some fantastic moments from Colorado Springs, but really 2 corners, players unmarked in the box. That's going to really annoy players and management after this match.
Better Business Bureau man of the match for the Switchbacks is Juan Tejada. Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings at bbb.org. What a match at Widener Field tonight. It really could have gone either way down to the last seconds of the match. And despite a fight back from the Switchbacks, Louisville holds on to win a wild game by 3-2. We'll take a break and we will recap all of the action next. After a seesaw affair, sees Danny Cruz's boys add a 5th road win to the tally and get them closer to home playoff games in the postseason. Really fun affair. We'll wrap it up next.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
At Fox 21, we say we are Southern Colorado, but what does that really mean?
It means we bring you the local stories from our towns, our people.
With stories that show how you live, work, and play.
Plus the stories that impact our communities.
We want to tell the stories that are important to you because we are Southern Colorado.
Watch Fox 21 local news weekday mornings from 5 to 9 a.m. and weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10. We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Sean St. Jacques, Gary Bailey back here with you. It really was fireworks between the Switchbacks and Louisville City tonight. Tonight's postgame is presented by Sunbelt. A knockdown, drag-out affair sees Louisville leave Widener Field with all 3 points. Let's recap the match. Full-time highlights are brought to you by SoCo CW. Gary, we begin in the 23rd minute, and it is a corner for Louisville.
Jorge Gonzalez just getting ahead of Duke Lacroix there to put that one past Kuzminski from a Carlos Mogel corner. Really, really good goal. Well taken there by Jorge Gonzalez. And then just before halftime, there was an equalizer. Lovely play on the right. So Hard is going to get the ball. He finds Romario Williams, but look at the touch of the big man there. Just goes past Tosh, finishes nice and quickly. At halftime, it was all even at 1-1. And then it was only 4 minutes after halftime that Elijah Winder, unmarked from yet another Carlos Mogel corner, heads into the back of the net. And once again, Colorado Springs are down by 2-1 this time. Some poor marking there. And then it was really touch and go all the way to the end. And on comes Martin Powell, wins the ball there. Brian Ownby, great awareness, puts the big man through. Nice little touch there, good finish. And you think that's it, 3-1. Game, set, and match for Lou City. And literally within a minute, Sean, they go down the other end, as we'll see now, and they win a penalty. Tejada hit from behind by Sean Tosh. Long ball coming up. Watch Tejada as the ball goes up. He goes to get it. Tosh just absolutely flattens him. Up steps Romario Williams, sends the goalkeeper Oliver Zemler the wrong way. But time by then had run out.
There was a couple of late chances. We saw Kuzminski get in the penalty area for the Switchbacks as well. But Louisville does just enough to get their 5th road win of the season. As we take a look at the Better Business Bureau full-time match stats, 34 shots between the two teams, 13 on target, and I'd argue one of the better games we've seen these last few weeks in the USL Championship.
Oh, absolutely. Brilliant game on the front foot, both sides. As you say, shots on target. I just think Switchbacks will look back at it and go, you know, conceding one from a corner, we should have been 2-2, but conceding two, especially the second one, Elijah Winder unmarked, there's gonna be a few words said in the locker room after this match. There's gonna be a few upset defenders and management, but they must get over it because their next 3 matches are against the top 3 in the West. Good luck, Colorado Switchbacks.
It's a tough schedule upcoming for Louisville as well. That's why this one is a big one for Lou City to leave with all 3 points. Another wild affair at Widener Field. It just continues to show you how much drama there is in the USL Championship. A seesaw affair sees Louisville beat Colorado Springs by 3-2. For Gary Bailey and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from Colorado Springs. It was a really fun game tonight, and we hope you enjoyed it as well.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.